Are you worried that your child doesn't like to read? And maybe that means that they're not going to be successful in life. It's very stressful, right? So this video is to help you feel a little bit more calm and a little bit more compassionate to yourself and your child when it comes to reading. So instead of saying, my child doesn't like to read, maybe think about, what does your child not like to read? Because maybe your child just doesn't like to read books with pages with words all the way down, and the typical kinds of chapter books that we read, right? And we see shelves and shelves of books like that in the library. Maybe that's the kind of book they don't like to read, but maybe they still love to read. So I am somebody like that. I might say I don't read all the time, but what I'm really saying is I don't read full chapter books of stories all the time. I'm reading all day long though. I'm reading things online when it comes to maybe the news. I'm reading opinions. I'm reading blog posts. I'm learning about new things online all the time. I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm watching documentaries and learning. I'm learning. Your child might like to read things that they learn about. So if that's the case, your child likes to read, they just might not like to read fiction, they like to read nonfiction. Okay, let me show you a couple other examples. So this is a book that I loved reading, and look how thick it is. I read this in a day, and I was thinking, well, but I don't like to read all books. I like to read this book because it's my style. It's dystopian, and I think dystopian books personally are really interesting. So maybe that's what your child doesn't like. Your child doesn't like to read things that are not their style, but they'll read books that are their style. I had a student once where their style was to be funny. They had humor. That's a really smart, brilliant trait, right? To understand humor. Sometimes for me, I feel like that's a type of geniusness. So if they like to read a book like this and you're like, oh no, what does that mean? They don't like to read chapter books. They just only like to read books that have pictures and speech bubbles. That's awesome. They like to read things that stimulate them, because in 1 second, they are thinking about what this picture means. They're thinking about what this, is this sarcasm, or what are they really afraid of? They're entertained. Maybe your child likes a lot more stimulation than what a regular page on a chapter book likes. And so that's why they like humor or books like this or picture books, right? That's still reading. Reading is reading is reading is reading. Okay, so another one about with higher stimulation, a lot of kids like Dave Pilkey books. And these kinds of books are called graphic novels because they have pictures and it's a longer story, right? But look how stimulating it is. You can already feel the emotion, the excitement, the entertainment on this page. And a lot of kids like that more. If your child likes to read books like this, they like to read. They just don't like to read the kinds of chapter books we grew up with, but they like to read. So keep encouraging that. All right. So I hope that this helps you feel a little bit better about your child's future. They're going to be really great. They're going to be awesome because they do probably like to read. We just kind of generalize that statement of liking to read must mean those thick books that we see in the library, but not every child is like that. And sometimes really brilliant kids, maybe they just want to be entertained in a different way, and that's okay.